Hi, it's Cory, and today we're going to be talking about how to sing and play ukulele at the same time. The number one tip I have in helping you to be able to play ukulele and sing at the same time is being familiar with the material. If you are just learning a song and you don't really know how the song goes, don't worry about the song. Focus on the chords, or if you're in the situation where it's the reverse and you are super confident with the ukulele strumming and the chords, but you don't really know how to sing the song, drop the ukulele and just focus on the song. Play it a few times, listen to the original recording, and really learn how to sing the song first, because you have to know how to do both in order to play and sing at the same time. I can't tell you how many people have asked me, like, as a music teacher, oh, well, what instruments do you play? And I'll tell them, well, I play like ukulele and I play some piano, but I'm a vocalist. And they're like, oh, what do you mean by that? So what instruments do you play? And I tell them again, well, I'm a vocalist. They don't really consider that to be like an instrument in itself. And it is. I went to school for 5 years to be a vocalist. And that's kind of the whole point. Singing is its own separate thing, just the same way as like guitar is its own separate thing, ukulele, piano, literally every single instrument's its own separate thing. So it's unrealistic to think that everybody can just do everything naturally. Whatever you're trying to do, make sure you're at a level of mastery with both of those things before you try putting the two together. But there are some things you can do to make it a little bit easier if you're not quite at that mastery level. First thing you can do is drop the strumming pattern. There is no reason why you absolutely have to be doing a full strumming pattern while you're trying to learn a song at the same time. An example of this is like, take the song White Christmas. If I'm playing my G chord here and then I'm going, I'm a dreaming of a white Christmas, I happen to know how the song's going. But if this is too hard for me, I can easily just drop that strumming pattern and just play on the chord change and go, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. It doesn't make the song any less cool to listen to, because if you already have a strong vocal performance, you can kind of make up for that with the strumming on the ukulele. And this is 100% like my personal opinion when it comes to that. I would 100% much rather hear a really simple, stripped down version on an instrument and have a really, really awesome sung melody than having somebody like really struggle through the melody and then like having something sound great on an instrument. And maybe that's just because I care a lot more about the melody line than I do about the accompaniment. But I think a lot of people fall into that category because we see that all the time in professional musicians as well. There are a ton of professional musicians out there that are amazing singers and they can't play an instrument to save their lives, and that doesn't make them any less of a musician. It doesn't make them any less amazing. A person that did this a lot when they were a lot younger was Justin Bieber. During a concert, he would go off and play a bunch of different instruments, and he'd kind of play them all like so-ish and not be really that great. But I like him a lot more as a performer who's a really good dancer and a singer versus somebody who can play a million different instruments. Now, if you're somebody who can just play a million different instruments and be awesome, that's fantastic. You see that a lot with like Lady Gaga, for instance. But the point is, she's at that skill level with those different instruments that she can do it, and she doesn't do anything unless it's going to be amazing. So focus on the things that you can do really, really amazing. One thing I recommend not doing is just changing the chords for changing the chord's sake. A common thing I see is like people are really familiar with the C major, the A minor, the F, and the G chord. So they'll take those four chords, they'll hear some things like a 4-chord song, and they'll just insert those 4 chords that they know how to play. I don't recommend that, because if you don't have something that's reminiscent of the actual song you're trying to play, like the lyrics are not enough. So it needs to have like a little bit of the harmonic progression. It needs to have some amount of the accompaniment or something of the melody to make it stick. Do not just take the 4 most common chords and try to sing anything for it. It kind of kills me a little bit inside, to be completely honest, when sometimes I see it on tutorials too, where the chords are just so wrong. It's like not even the same song. And here's the thing, if you're gonna do that, fine, that's totally okay. But say that you're gonna do that. Be like, this is my reworking version of this song, and I'm using these chords and nothing about it is the same. Like, that's okay. Tons of people have done that and that's all right, but don't try to make it into something it's not. If it's your 100% different version of it, then take that credit for it and be like inspired by it. But just keep that in mind a little bit. So yeah, I know that's probably a little bit, you're thinking, oh, none of that was any kind of life-changing information. And that's the truth. It's not. It's really just getting familiar with whatever you're trying to play on ukulele and what you're trying to do on the song, and being able to be so confident and so mastered in that one of those things can just kind of go on autopilot so your brain can focus on the other. And that's the real trick. And I know that's not like a really fun or like sexy way of thinking about any of this and nothing life-changing, but it's the truth. I hope you found this helpful, or at the very least, you watched this and you thought like, oh, this is actually a very common problem that a lot of people have. And like most things, just like hard work and putting in the time can really solve it. It's literally what I've had to do every single time before I could get to a place of just like playing chords and strumming patterns just whenever. I had to do everything on a chord change. Like, I did not play any strumming patterns for a very long time because I couldn't sing and do strumming patterns while also playing all the chords at the same time. So I had to drop the strumming patterns and just play on the chord changes. And the same is true now. I'm adding a lot more licks and trying to do like a lot more advanced skill things and like hammer-ons and pull-offs and stuff. And I have to either drop the vocal line and just focus on the ukulele, or I have to do something so that my brain's not getting pulled in two different directions, trying to think really hard about everything it needs to do. And I can just kind of like chill and let it do one thing at a time until I have mastery in that thing. And then I can move over to the next element that I'm trying to work on. Let me know, what songs are you trying to work on that maybe you're struggling with playing and singing at the same time? If I know what the songs are, I can maybe give you like some more specific feedback on how to make it a little bit easier for yourself. But again, most of it's just going to be breaking apart the different pieces and mastering it and then working it in slowly. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.